All right, welcome back again, everyone. Had a bit of a response to my last video, so I thought I would just chuck another quick update up. Today I've started laying a bit more colour on the V8. Now, I'm certainly not a painter by any means. I'm not a welder, I'm not a fabricator, but I give everything a crack, everything I can. So I formed this engine bay and did all the smoothing and everything myself, which I'll flick the camera around in a minute and I'll show you everything I've done and how I've done it. But today it's been a good motivational hit to finally start seeing colour and whatnot. So this car has to be on the road by Christmas. So this is just a good push to get that happening. So I'll show you all the products I've used and the process I've done to get to where I am, and hopefully you guys can give it a crack as well. Right, so this is the engine bay. It's still wet, it's not on and off the gun, but I formed all of these pieces, stretched and shrunk it all, and did that radius, made up my own dies and everything for my bead roller, and tipped that edge over, and as obviously it tries to pull each way, so you use the shrinker and stretcher and pull it back flat. Then yeah, shaped it into the existing rad support there, and obviously there's a whole heap of bumps in here that I've gotten rid of, and little indents and stuff, gotten rid of all of them. Made this little section here, which is where the OTR sits. Smoothed off the strut towers, filled in the little triangulated bit there. Actually replaced that whole panel because that panel had the typical rust from battery acid leaking on it. Blanked in the rails and smoothed up all around where the steering shaft comes through, and there's normally an edge up there, you know, you cut all that off and welded it up and smoothed it all off. Welded all the holes up, every single hole, welded up. Drilled in my holes for lines and stuff to come through, and added in. That's where the aircon and heating lines go through. The chassis rail has actually all been stone guarded and then painted over, same as the bottom mount. And yeah, the radiator's been moved out onto those custom mounts so that the OTR will fit on it. Inside all the door jambs here, they've all been painted. Small run there, which I can fix that up. Like I said, I'm not afraid to admit where I've gone wrong or where I've stuffed up. You know, this is a big learning curve for me as well. Hinges, I did originally sandblast and powder coat them, but they would look a bit odd being black coming through the cow panel. I've got a custom cow panel for it. So this colour is actually called Kia Deep Sea Blue Pearl. Which is, that's it there, B2R is the part number, and the metallic bronze, that's also a Kia colour. That's the colour of the motor, which I'll show you in a minute. Just a 2K clear coat and hardener. And primer I'm using is a Body Shop primer with a hardener. And that's the epoxy I used on the motor. which is rated to 200 degrees Celsius. And that's the epoxy I used on the whole car, which has a hardener as well. So I let that sit for 3 weeks to settle, which the car is actually still in. And that's gotten rid of any shrink and whatnot. The roof, however, I did strip down. I bare metaled it because there was a couple of spots of bog in it. Sorry about the lights. A couple of spots of bog which I've yet to fix up. They were bogged. I'm just going to pull them out with the dent puller. But apart from that, the car is pretty straight. Couple of spots here. I've just put some dolphin glaze on. Dolphin glaze, if you're wondering. That's dolphin glaze. It's light bog, but it's very watery, and it's great for filling in like pinholes and like real tiny little dents. And you can scrape over it. Sets real super quick, and heaps easy to sand. So it's like real good for final finishing touches. It's literally, says it on here somewhere. Can't remember where I read it there. 2%. It's the only amount of hardening is 2%, so it's bugger all. And this is the motor. Just unwrap this a bit for you. That's that metallic bronze, which is a Kia colour as well. The engine shop originally painted it a GMH black. It looked good, but everyone sort of does that. So I wanted something a little bit more out there, a little bit nicer. So this is completely wired up. I did this wiring job myself as well, which I can get more into once the motor goes in. But everything's all hidden. Everything runs down the side or underneath the intake manifold there, running a standard LS3 intake. So the only parts that come up that you see are like those, they just stick around there. The rest is all ran down low and around the block even, so everything comes down this side, under and around that side. Aircon, heating, it works. LS3 heads, 403 cast iron stroker, which I explained in my last video. Pacemaker headers. And we've got some nice billet rocker covers for it actually, but for engineering I'll be using these ones because it's got the correct fittings on it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the engine bay and the V8 at the moment. As I said, Christmas Day this car is meant to be driving my old boy around. So unfortunately I'm still waiting on FH Classics, which is a great company. They're making rear SLE bar rubbers, the ones that go all the way around the whole bar, because you can't use an SL or SLX bar, SLX rubber. So they're doing a remake of that. I do have access to a decent-ish condition factory one, which I might have to run. And I'm also waiting on my rear window regulators, so they'll just sort of be held up with some timber at the moment until they come in. Everything else we basically have. We've sort of spent a bit of a decent amount, like new old stock eyebrows. You know, we searched high and low, tried to find real good quality bits and pieces. That was the best condition sort of boot trim I could find. It is dentless and it's in shape, so I'm just going to polish that up. Bonnet one, got new ones of those. Bonnet eyebrows, got new ones of them. The ones that go around the tail lights, got new old stock ones of those. The trimmings that go all around inside of the doors, like actually on the door frames, like the SLEs have. Managed to find a set of them, pretty clean and straight, so same thing, just got to polish them up. Coilovers, just here, so they are BC coilovers, so I just got to cut the bottoms of the struts off, put them in, weld them up, which I'll TIG weld, again, all self-taught. I'm not going to pull it out, but underneath there is a sandblasted and 2K painted gloss black K-frame. I've got steering rebuild kit, like everything's brand new in this car, which I've still got a lot of work to do. Got to rebuild the brakes, VT brakes. I'm making my own hub adapters, so I can bring the wheels in 40mm aside, so it'll pass engineering, so it's within track. There is companies out there that make their own, that do the kit, but I am a machinist by trade, so I am going to make my own. Probably use something like a Tarago, and there was Honda CRV, I think, was the same disc as a VT Commodore, just comes in the 40mm on the mounting flange. So there's a few out there, so it'll make something like that. Car is basically all wired. So that's one of the door harnesses. That's the front headlight loom and everything. That in there is the horn. Everything's all nice and hidden. Aircon condensers all mounted in there, all nice. All brand new stuff, which is already painted black. Got all brand new lower arms. Powder coated and blasted and powder coated all the Z arms. Got brand new 28mm sway bar and connects. All sound deadened on the inside. As you can see, we removed all the sound deadening. We used dry ice. I use dry ice, and then you just sort of hammer it all off, which, as you see in the last video, caused all the Raptor coat underneath to push off, so we'll have to repair that as well. But heaps easier than using a grinder or chipping it away. So yeah, got rid of all of that, and I then epoxied the floor. I ground everything off the floor, made that all nice, gave it a rough coat. Then yeah, epoxied it in the same phosphate sealer. That just really helps to seal the car in, seal everything in. Yeah, steering wheel, shifter. The shifter I've actually used, I'll do a video on that as well. It's just a Aeroflow bang shift, like a ratchet shifter with everything on the driver's side so you can see it. Now I know people use like the Dakota Digital for doing the gear indicator. It's all covered up at the moment, but I can show you that when I come to it. I've just changed the position of where the little indicator is and used the factory VH little runner that's got 1, 2, 3 neutral, reverse, park, and the LED, and then all you do is you just use the little red dot that comes on the factory bang shift, and that lines up perfectly with the numbers, because this car is obviously running a turbo 400, so 3-speed as well, like the Trimatic that come out of it. So I saved a couple of dollars there. All fits under the factory console. Don't have to drill any holes for the little lever to get it past neutral and into reverse, because same thing, that little lever where that mounts on the shifter, I sort of moved that back so it all fits within the standard location. Because don't know about you, but I hate seeing people run ratchet shifters and then have them located in the console, and then the little lever to pull to get into reverse is just hanging out in the wind, and they've got to cut the plastic. Yeah, they do a nice neat cut and make it look neatish, but you know, just go that little bit further and make it better again. And then you don't have to cut up a real nice factory piece of console, because we know they're getting hard to come by. So yeah, not much more I can tell you on that front. So yeah, I'll give you another update maybe tomorrow. I'm planning on doing the underside of the boot tomorrow and inside the boot jam, and hopefully inside these door jambs, get them painted. And then we can probably throw the doors on for when we paint the car. The car is getting painted in a booth. We have access to a booth only for 2 days over the weekend. So we have to sort of get in and get out, get it done, get it painted. Because you know, walking around in this shed kicks up a little bit of dust. You can wet it down as much as you like, but it's a bit hard to tell. But there is a couple of little spots where dust had landed, so I'll just have to sand them out and make that look pretty. But at the end of the day, this is a 100% street car. It'll be driven every week pretty much, rain, hail, shine. And I'll also get into the electrics with you. I think it's in the car. But what we've done, we use a Blue Wire Motorsports little key fob, and where the key goes into the ignition barrel on your HX, HQs, HTs and whatnot, and even the Commodores, they've made like a little billet switch or button that slides in there. So it works just like your new cars, like your Mazdas, your Rangers and whatnot. Senses the key, and you just hop in, press the start button, and if you like, so obviously put your foot on the brake and hit start, or if it's a manual, activate it so you've got your foot on the clutch. You can do remote start with it as well. Being automatic cars you can, but it literally, you just keep your key in the pocket and it senses that the key's in the car and allows it to start, as well as integrating into the central locking and alarm and whatnot. So you can do silent alarm, open alarm, which we've just hooked into the horn buzzer, so it's nice and loud. But just I don't know, little things like that will just make this car a bit more modern, bit nicer to drive. Especially my old boy is a bit prancy like that. So yeah, having that feature where you can just throw the key in his pocket, jump in, open the car, foot on the brake, start it. It's pretty good, as well as the, you know, we've got hidden radio and stuff like that. We've got a real neat original SLE interior to go in, with all new like billet lights around, dome lights. Found a heap of new old stock aircon switches and stuff like that. So yeah, we've tried to make this car as nice as possible. Thank you for watching, guys, and tune in again next time and we'll see how far I've gotten. Cheers.